Hello guys, welcome back to Sahu Foundations. I'm architect Sanjeev Kumar and let's start today's ENSCAPE class.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Sahu Foundation. In today's video, we will talk about the editing and adding of materials in ENSCAPE. So let's dive in. We will first start with opening a model in SketchUp. You can either download it from the 3D warehouse or you can open any one of your previous model. So today we will talk about the different materials option and how to adjust the features and function of those material according to our need and also to make it realistic. So we will start off by opening ENSCAPE Material Editor. I'll just click on this icon. So to select what material you are about to edit or what material you are wishing to edit. So we can do that by suppose selecting the surface from the SketchUp itself by using the eyedropper tool. Okay. So I selected here. Now see, this color has been highlighted here or that surface is highlighted here in this ENSCAPE Material Editor. Suppose I choose this one, okay. I took this one. Now see, it changed. Okay. Now we'll look at these various functions that are present here and we'll cover this one by one and see how it changes the rendering here in the ENSCAPE window. So first of all, to start off with, we have the type. Okay, so by default they are in generic type, but we can change the surface according to our need. Okay, so you can see here we have the generic, carpet, clear coat, foliage, grass, self-illuminated and water. Okay, so we can change that surface into these all. Okay, so we will see that in the rendering window. So suppose I selected this surface, but I want this surface to be maybe grass. Okay, so I'll just click here and see. So in ENSCAPE window it turns out to be grass. Okay, see, but not in the SketchUp one. So what we change here is done in the ENSCAPE window solely itself, not in the SketchUp file. Okay, so by default it's generic. So suppose now I want to make it self-illuminated. Now see, it's illuminated. Then I can increase the illuminance. See, it's brightened up. Okay, so accordingly we can change the material here itself in the ENSCAPE window as well through the material editor. So similarly we can do that with any surface. So suppose I select this one. Okay, and now here I have my material editor. I make it water. Now see, you can see the difference. It's like water here. See, it's flowing. Now suppose I want to adjust the height of the waves. Now see, it's changing. Okay, so you can do all that. Scale, you can adjust the scale. Then detail settings. So what kind of waves you want. See, you can see in here. Okay, so accordingly you can also change. We covered these generic, carpet, grass, water, self-illuminated. So you more or less got to know that what all we can use and what all we can do with. Okay, from selecting this type here. You have to remember one thing, that whatever you change this, it will be shown in the ENSCAPE window only, not in the SketchUp file. So this material editor is for ENSCAPE, not for SketchUp. So now let's solely move on to this generic type only, because what I showed you here, like for the carpet you can adjust the height and all, the reflections and whatever. Carpet, since it's a fabric, so it won't have any reflections and all. Then we have the clear coat. So this material in the rendering window, it's changing. So whatever surface we can choose from here also, that would change here. So here suppose I have selected this style. Okay, now you can see in the albedo texture, there you see the preview of the tile. Okay, when you click here, you see it opens into three maps, the albedo, bump and roughness. So let's see all these three, what are these. Okay, and we'll try to figure out what changes it makes when we change here in the settings. Now see, you can adjust the brightness. See, I'm lowering the brightness, it's turning dark. Okay, if I invert this, then I lower the brightness, so it gives me a different low again. So you can play with this also. Also, if you want to scale it down or scale it up, you can click here. Then you can change the size according to yourself. Maybe I will just erase right here 8. Now see, the size changed. Okay, so accordingly you can make your custom size also. Also you can rotate this. See, okay, so you see This we have already used it in here in the Inkscape also. So it's already a texture present which has all the bump maps and the reflection maps there and the roughness map that we saw just now. Okay, so we can adjust these all also. I'll show you this in a bit while. Then here you can change the tint color. Okay, so whatever, suppose I change, see the color is changing here. Okay, so you can do that. Next we have the image fade. So image fade is mainly used to see the bumps on the surface. Okay, so I'll show you this. So if I fade the image, okay, I make it to 0. So you see there are very less bump. Okay, very less irregularities. So to see that what kind of bumps we want or how much amount of bump we want, we can adjust it from the height map here. So you already know that whatever texture we are using already has a bump map and a roughness map attached to it. So we don't need to like apply more bump maps or the roughness maps. Okay, it's already there in our file. So here we can now adjust. So it's 3 right now. Okay, I can increase it. See the roughness increasing. To give a realistic look to our render, we use the bump maps. Okay, next we have the roughness map. So for the roughness map, I'll just click here. And here also we can adjust the brightness of these roughness maps. You have been seeing this surface is kind of metallic. It's not looking a ceramic tile. Why so? Because the metallic feature is 100%, which is like it's full on. So I'll just place it to 0 now because we don't need metallic nature in the ceramic tiles. So now let's adjust the bump map. See the darkening of these irregularities. Okay, by default it's placed on 3. So let's make it on 3 itself. Next let's move on to glass. So I'll select a glass here because there are some different properties for glass also. Okay, so I'll just select here this glass. Okay, for now you can see here in the rendering window it's frosted kind of glass. Suppose I want a clear glass. So how will I do that? I'll just select the surface first. So now let's open the material editor again. Now you see we have another set of features here in the transparency itself. Okay, so when I disable it, it's clear glass now. See the difference? Okay, when it's frosted glass, what kind of opacity you want? Okay, see, we have the refractive index. Okay, how much light it will refract. So you can adjust it from here. Next we have the tint color. By default it's white, but suppose maybe I want these colors. Okay, so I can select all these accordingly here. Then again on the reflections, what kind of reflections we want, we can adjust it from here. Okay, the specularity again we can increase or decrease. You see when we increase, it turns on to more glossy surface. You see the difference? That's what I was talking about. That for the laminates and all the woodwork we do. So suppose I select this surface. Okay, so we have the bump maps and all open here. But this you see doesn't have any bump map, right? It's a plain image. Okay, or a flat image we say. These have some textures because we applied in here, but this doesn't have. So what we'll do for this, you can either choose from the texture from the internet or you can click on use albedo. Okay, when you click on use albedo, no, it creates a bump map for your flat image. Okay, now you saw we just click on here use albedo and it created a bump map image. Okay, similarly in reflections, when I click on use albedo, it will create a roughness map. Like we saw for this ceramic material, we have the same for this also. Okay, here again we can select the brightness of this surface. Okay, again by clicking on the bump map, we can select the brightness and all. Here again reflections, by roughness you can select from here. Okay, how rough you want it to be, or click on use albedo and see roughness map is created accordingly to your material and texture. Okay, so for this ceramic tile also we created one, so it was there already. Now for the roughness map also, brightness we can increase or decrease. Okay, I'll show you one thing. I told you about this image fade thing, okay? So that you can see the bumps actually, like the irregularities that are present or the roughness of the surface that are present. So maybe I'll turn it to 0. So this texture what you are seeing right now is the bump map or the irregularity. So by this you can adjust like what kind of light you want. So basically the reflections and the bump map, they go hand in hand. Okay, so you don't want to have many bumps, okay, or you don't want to have too much of roughness. So you can adjust it all here. Then you can turn the image on to 100%. Then your texture is combined with the bump map along with roughness. So that gives a more realistic look. Okay, so now this was a flat image you just saw. I'll just minimize it and change the view of it. Okay, you see the difference now. This is looking more of a realistic now. Also, we'll turn on the image of this material. I think we switched it off maybe. Okay, see, image fade we have 0. That's why the texture of this center material is not visible. Okay, I'll just turn on the image fade to 100. So I'll turn this image fade on. Now see the texture. Okay, it's looking more realistic. Earlier it was looking like a flat image. It was a flat image before, but now you have the roughness and bump maps all in place. So to make your renders more realistic, you can use all these features that are present here in the ENSCAPE material editor. So that is it for the today's video. In next video, we will cover about interior lighting and colored lighting, how we do that. Till then, thank you so much.